Innovation is crucial to the survival of Australian industries, from manufacturing to retail and agriculture. And that's the view of prominent technology developer Russell Yardley, who says Australia is at a tipping point and the need for industry and government to foster innovation is imperative. The iAwards is going some way to fill that void. With nominations closing soon, Russell is chairman of the iAwards National Steering Committee, and he joins us now in the studio to tell us more. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Bronnie.
Just firstly, tell us about the awards, how long they've been running and who's able to enter.
Yeah, look, the AAA started the iAwards 20 years ago, and ACS and PC Foundation joined us 3 years ago, and we're really looking at driving innovation in Australia. So we see that as a critical part of addressing our productivity problems.
And, you know, looking at the various sectors, I mean, and the size of the companies or individuals entering, I mean, does it matter where or what?
No, look, you can be a small startup, or you can be there are individual awards for Australia's IT professionals, or you can be a major bank with a new mobile application for the phone.
And there's not long left to nominate, is there?
No, they close on the 28th of April, so there's plenty of time to actually put in an application, and if you go to the iAwards website, iawards.com.au, you'll be able to fill out the application. And in fact, filling out that application is a great way of assessing how innovative are you, how are you working, how are you comparing and benchmarking yourself against the rest of industry.
And what are you looking for? I mean, who's likely to win? What's sort of the essence of a winner?
We're really looking for the way in which people think about work, how they think about learning in universities, living applications, things that impact every day. So we want you to think about how does information technology, how does digitisation make that easier, more exciting, more pleasurable?
What are some of the examples of some of the previous winners that have stuck in your mind?
Yeah, look, we've got iCare Health, a great company, won an award 4 or 5 years ago in the ageing sector, so applying software to looking at better managing our healthcare system. Axiflux, they invented a software configurable electronic motor. Right, today that is in motor cars. They're looking at putting those motors on major conveyor belt systems for the mining industry. There are some really exciting applications of software technology to literally everything that we're doing. We don't have a digital economy today. We have an economy that's being digitised. And so anything that is contributing to that, any innovation, any way of improving those processes, but also looking at the new disruptive technologies. If you're in the business of providing business directories and along came Google, you were disrupted. So when you think about everything that we're doing today, there are new ways of doing things, but the digital waste from one industry becomes a free resource for someone else to turn that into a better product. It's that sort of innovation that we see that Australia needs to identify, because the government needs to bring both education, the CSIRO, NICTA, all of the companies that, across the sector need to work with each other. Other countries who didn't come through the global financial crisis as well, they are forced to make these changes. Australia, in many ways, is the lucky country. We need to force ourselves to be able to really look at innovation, and so we need to sponsor science, technology, engineering, mathematics, to really look at the way in which we can invent new things.
What are the barriers, I guess, holding back innovation? What can be done to lift some of those too?
Look, I think complacency is one of the biggest barriers. The ATO recently came out and said, because the baby boomers are ageing, we're becoming much more risk adverse, and it's not just our superannuation funds that are not investing in innovation. We need boards of companies to start to not just set the risk appetite for finance, and look at the way in which the companies operate. We need them to set an innovation appetite. We need to encourage from the board right down to the shop floor of factories innovation, and often the best innovations come from the people that are closest to the work. So we need to create that culture of innovation, and then we're really going to see major invention. Hills Holdings are a major sponsor of us, and you remember the iconic Hills hoist. What a great invention. Well, Hills recognise that we need young inventors, and so they're sponsoring the Young Innovators Award this year and over the next 3 years, and that's going to create, it doesn't matter whether you're working for a small company, whether you're working for a large company, young innovators are going to see things differently. They're going to look at this and say, I can think of a better way, and we want to encourage that innovation.
So that's a call to companies, boards, private equity firms as well. What about government? What can it do?
Look, I think the most important thing government can do is to be a facilitator. We always look at government as, you know, can they provide grants? Can they provide the money? I don't think that's the solution. We need governments to, in fact, bring together and create the environments. They need to be working with NICTA and CSIRO and the universities so that we, in fact, encourage people to develop new things and to be able to develop the skills. You know, Australia tragically has not invested in the development of science, technology, engineering and mathematics skills, both in our schools and our universities, so that we actually have the tool sets to be able to compete and to change and redesign the way in which we work, learn and live.
Does it matter that we, you know, somewhat isolated, if you liked, from other parts of the developed world, from Silicon Valley, say, for example?
Well, I think what we're doing is connecting billions of people through trillions of devices, and in fact we are seeing that we can participate, and sure we can travel and we can open up offices in Silicon Valley, but today we can actually be connected to the rest of the world without leaving home. We all know that. Right? And so I think that we need to overcome that tyranny of distance, and I think the tyranny of distance is in our heads. You know, we need to actually become connected to the world so that we are able to, in fact, have virtual teams spread all around the world. And when you look at the response to the Malaysian airline crash, you've got teams all around the world working on solving those problems. You don't need to be in the south of the Indian Ocean to fix that problem. You can be anywhere in the world identifying the information so that when the people are on the ground or on the sea in the South Indian Ocean, that they are in fact in the right places. And so let's as Australia participate in those global teams. Let's make sure that we as a nation are working at the highest level, and we can. One of the companies that I chair, which is Redify, were nominated by Microsoft as the best software application development company in the world just a year ago.
Russell, it's been great to hear about today. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you very much, Bridie.
Russell Yardley there from the iAwards National Steering Committee. Well, time's